For computer applications here, we're going to be working in Excel now. And so in our Google Classroom, we have some examples. But before we get to those, this is a summary for the week. You can read on your own. But when we have these examples here that we can go, I have an icon here. If you see the icon with my cursor over, it says Microsoft Excel. If you don't have that, an easy way to do it is go to Launchpad. And in here's a lot of different of our apps and different applications we can use. And then you can just drag that down. And that'll be how you have open up Excel. And then you open up Excel and you get a book. Yours will say book one. I've already had something open before. But this is a workbook. And this is just a quick overview for those of you that haven't done a lot with Excel. Wherever you click is the active cell. Okay, this whole thing is a workbook. We're going to put many sheets, worksheets, on the workbook, and so you can rename the sheets by double clicking in there. If you hold the control key down and click on the sheet, you can use and choose move or copy. You can choose rename, tab colors. You can do all those things. So if you wanted to rename your sheet, we will rename one 1-2, and then we'll add a sheet and name it 1-3, and then we'll add a sheet and name it 1-4, and then we add a sheet and name it 1-5, and then we add a sheet and name it 1-6. So you'll have multiple worksheets we can save under one name, and we will save that under, you can save it on your desktop. Now if you don't have the option, you hit this arrow and then you can find things, and you will save it as lesson 1. Okay, so in lesson 1 we have multiple worksheets. Now easy ways to move around in Excel: you hit tab to go sideways, return to go up and down. You see the columns and rows. You can adjust these. You see your cursor moving up in between A and B's divider, and you can just click and drag. Same with rows. You can just click and drag. When you enter data, you can put that there, and if you wanted to change the way it's set up, you know, the left aligned, right aligned, centered, vertically up top of the cell, middle of the cell, bottom of the cell. A lot of times it won't matter because the cells are so small. With this, you can make your column as big as you want. You can make it as small as you want. If you want it to cover 2 like that, that's okay. If you don't, you can adjust it manually. Or if it's way out here, you can just put your cursor in between A and B and double click it. So that's how you'll be able to adjust rows. One of the things we were doing the other day, I'll get this back to normal. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then, or Thursday, sorry, Monday, Tuesday, and you don't have to write this stuff out, just kind of watch. One of the things you'll do a lot is you will be asked to delete or insert columns or insert rows. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. We want Wednesday to appear. How can you do that? Wherever your cursor is and we insert a column, it'll go in front of where your location is. In Excel, we talk about locations. C1 up here is location. This is the formula bar where it'll show you what is typed in that cell. So if we wanted to insert a column, it will insert in front of where our active cell is. And then you're allowed to type Wednesday. Same with rows. If you want Wednesday to appear between Tuesday and Thursday, it'll go in front of the active. Oop, I picked the wrong one. It'll go in front of the active row, and then you're able to do that. And again, you can adjust these at any time. If you wanted to delete a row or just the last one, you can hit delete. This back arrow is always fun. If you wanted to get rid of something, you can, a row, you can highlight the whole thing and highlight here, and you can go delete row and it'll get deleted. If you wanted to insert a row, so you can put a heading here, it'll go in front of your active cell. So let's say in A1 we typed computer applications. But let's say we wanted it to be centered over this whole area, because this is our little area where we're typing. Right now it's over here on the left. If we want a computer application to be centered, we can't just click center. We have to highlight over where you want it to go, and then there's this merge and center. Click on merge and center, and now you're able to have it takes away those lines. You will be asked to merge and center things. Other things you'll be asked to do. Let's say you want to uncenter something. You didn't like what you did there. You click where you want it, uncenter it. Let's say you wanted computer applications to be on top of each other inside the first cell, which is A1. So you see I click on B1, nothing shows up because all the writing is in A1. Okay, so what you can do is you can hit this button called wrap text, and it will move, and now the words are stacked on top of each other. Now sometimes your cell is really big and y'all be like, hey, this is supposed to be wrapped. And somebody will go, well, I clicked on wrap text and it didn't wrap. Well, that's because the cell's too big. You have to make the cell smaller, and you can see words disappear. You might have to make the row, you might have to make the cell and row a little bigger. Or what you can do is you can click up here in the formula bar, or you can double click inside your cell and you can hit the space bar until it wraps. But you will be asked to wrap text. You will be asked to merge words over a certain highlighted range. You will be asked to type words and you'll be asked to bold, italicize those words. I got a spinning wheel. And with numbers, you'll be asked to put numbers. When you input them, they'll go on the left. Sometimes they'll ask you to put them on, or on the right, they'll ask you to put them on the left. Sometimes they'll ask you to color them. Sometimes you'll change font color, the fill. Sometimes they'll ask you to do something. And if you wanted to clear these cells out, you can go edit, clear all, takes care of it. If you had numbers and if you wanted to add these up, you can put a line. This borders function we use a lot has a lot of different options. You can call it, look at thick border. And then we'll do formulas later. But that's kind of how you do a border. You might offset. Let's say that was merged and centered. Oops. Let's say we take the wrap off and we undo that big space and we merge and center it over all this. And then you wanted a line. You go to this thick bottom border and it kind of offsets your heading a little bit. Well, that's borders. And I think being able to wrap text, merge, maneuver with left align, right align, center align. Numbers, sometimes you'll be asked to type a number in and it'll be like 425. But it might round it to 4. And you're like, I don't get it. I'm typing 710 and it's not showing up. Well, you highlight that area and you can increase decimal, decrease decimal that way. If you have a bunch of numbers, and it doesn't matter what the numbers are, but if you wanted to get rid of decimals, that's how you do it. Okay. If you wanted to put automatically put instead of clicking on each one of them, you can highlight and hit comma, and it'll automatically put 2 decimals on it. You can hit the $sign, and then it'll put $ signs on it. Okay. And what we'll end up doing, again, I'll edit and clear all this out, is we'll end up inputting data. If it asks for all caps, you'll do all caps. If it asks for certain things, and again, we got to make, I kind of mess with this, but you'll end up putting in data unit price. Well, you see, unit price is supposed to be wrapped, so I click on wrap text. It doesn't do it. You can either make it smaller and make the cell a little bigger, or you can double click in there, or you can click in the and just spacebar it. But that's how you wrap in text. If you needed to type things in, if you want to put numbers in and you want them to be on the right, you got to put them on the right. And what you'll end up with is, when it's labeled 1, 2, you will type this out exactly how it looks. All caps, wrap text, decimals, numbers on the left, over here, numbers on the right. And then you'll be able to do that. Once you get done with 1, 2, you go to your 1, 3 tab. And then you'll go to 1, 3, open it up, and you will type this in exactly how it looks. Again, you might have to use your decimals, increase and decrease, in order to make sure the decimals show up. But once you're done with that, you close out, go to 1, 4, open up 1, 4, and you'll input the data on 1, 4. And when you get done with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then you'll save it. We already have it saved as lesson 1. And what we'll end up doing is taking lesson 1 next week and manipulating it, editing it, finishing formulas, and continue our Excel work. Thanks.